Okay, ladies and gentlemen, round of applause then for the top three. Your race winner for the 9th consecutive time here at the Sachsenring, Marc Marquez. Second for Valentino Rossi, and third for Maverick Vinales. Before we begin the press conference, as is tradition here at the Sachsenring, we are here to award the Sachsenring ring for the fastest lap. I'm delighted to say to present that ring is the Mayor of Hohenstahl-Ernsthal, Lars Kluger. And that ring, of course, goes to the man who set a lap of 1:21.643 on lap 22, Marc Marquez.
Thank you. Please, to me. Thank you. Thank you.
Full house then for Marc Marquez, the Tissot watch, the winner's trophy, and the Sachsenring ring as well. Thanks very much to Lars Kluger. Okay, well, a fantastic race. Marc, you obviously started on pole position. If we could just have a bit of quiet, please. Thank you. Marc, you started from pole position, lost a couple of places at the start, so you had some work to do to close in on Jorge. And then Valentino came, but it looked like you just managed to reserve something for the latter stages of the race. And once again, a phenomenal record. It's 9 wins on the trot. That is just incredible.
Yeah, of course, another victory here in Sachsenring, but looks like every year is more and more difficult, and especially this year was very difficult because we have during all weekend good conditions, so everybody can set up the bike, the riding style in a correct way. But yeah, during the race, already in the warm-up, I practice and I try to find the feeling for try to save the tires and to see how was the lap time, and when I was pushing to see which lap time I was able to do. So yeah, it was like this. I was just trying to save the rear tire in the beginning of the race, and then just try to keep this 21 high, 22 low. But then I see that Valentino was coming quite fast, and then I say, okay, now it's time to use all the potential from the tire, and then we will see in the end of the race. But I did the fastest lap in lap 22. That is amazing because the tire normally drop quite a lot. But apart of that, then when I open 2 seconds, I try to manage, but then I see that he dropped quite a lot the pace. And happy to take 25 points and to go on the summer break with a good victory. Yeah, 46-point lead you take into the summer break, and we get to Brno, and it will be your 100th race. Were the right people there that you thought? Were there some missing? Were you expecting it to be Valentino and Maverick finishing behind you? Maybe the 2 guys that I miss, for me was a good news, but after the practice was the 2 Ducati. I saw Lorenzo was pushing a lot in the beginning, but then I see immediately that start to drop a lot. Then I say, okay, now it's time to overtake. It's so difficult to overtake Yamaha Ducati riders, but I was able to overtake him, and then just try to keep pushing. And the other guy is Dobby, that in the race pace on the warm-up in the FP4 he was very fast, but then looks like he dropped a lot the pace on the race.
Okay, well done.
Thank you very much.
Moving on to now Valentino Rossi. I'm sure that if somebody had said to you at the end of Friday that you'd end the weekend in second, you'd have been very happy. A great result to have both Yamahas on the podium. Okay, it's not the top step, but a fantastic result, and you kept Marc very honest.
I'm satisfied of this race because it's not just my best result of the season, but it's also my best race because I did a very good start. It was very important because I was 6 to try to overtake somebody at the start, and after I ride well for the 30 laps, trying to save the tire, and I was always in the right place at the right moment. I was able to make some overtaking without make mistake, and looking from the practice, I think that Marquez was the faster, but also Lorenzo and Dovizioso. So at the beginning, when I have Lorenzo and Marquez in front, I try to stay as close as possible, without stress too much the tire, and it was good. It was the right way to do the race. I'm so happy for me, for my team, because we always work hard. I work very hard these 10 days for this result. And also it's good for Yamaha because put 2 bikes on the podium here in Sachsenring. That is on the paper is not the best track for me, and for them one is a great result.
In terms of this weekend in general, what has changed? You're always traditionally very good on a Sunday, but is there something that you found yesterday, this morning?
We work hard in some important area, and I know that the 17th place in Friday was not my place because we try something for improve the acceleration, but it doesn't work. But the 6th place of yesterday was more or less my pace. So this morning in the warm-up I was not so bad. I did a good lap time, but I was P9. So here is the level is very, very balanced, and you have a lot of different bike and different riders that can be fast. But in the race is different. You have to be strong in other areas, no? So I try to concentrate a lot, and I was ready today, especially after the podium of my brother in Moto2, Luca. I have to do a great congratulations to him. I'm so proud, so happy for him. And I said, he give me extra power, extra motivation for try the same.
Thank you very much, and well done to you, Valentino. We move on now to Maverick Vinales. The positives are, of course, it's back-to-back podiums for yourself and Yamaha, but you seem quite disappointed in Parc Ferme. You got off to a good start. You seem to be just tucked in behind Valentino, but then a bit of trouble early on.
Yes, for sure it's good to have a little bit more consistent result. But anyway, I think here being the podium in Sachsenring, last year we suffered a lot, and this year seems to be much better. So I think on the bike we improved quite a lot. But anyway, there is still steps to do also from my side, so just waiting for Breno.
Was the pace where you thought it would be? I mean, nobody really knew how it was going to go after 30 laps, but towards the end you had faster pace than anyone. Yeah,
I prepared really well the last 10, 15 laps, but actually I didn't expect to be 7th. You know, I expected to be there in the front, trying to battling, but anyway, it's time to work, trying to become even stronger, and I think at the moment we are recovering this feeling that I can be fast at the end, so I need to improve my riding style to be fast at the beginning.
Mark, Valentino, Maverick, well done. Thank you very much. That's it from me. Questions from the floor?
Valentino, 2 questions for you. In the first laps, you were attacking Mark when he was in front of you. You were feeling faster without thinking about the tire wear? And the second question, do you think that these 2 Yamahas on the podium means that you found something as a Yamaha and you are on a good way to start the second half of the season?
In the first 2 or 3 laps, I feel very comfortable, and I know that I can push, I can attack, and I want to try to overtake Mark, but unfortunately I was strong, but not enough. And anyway, I was already in the right place. Was good because I was in the first group. I was behind Mark. Jorge was in front, but not like always that he go. So he was there. And I try to stay concentrated, especially with Petrucci, because I know that he's strong, but maybe I can go a little bit faster. So this is my strategy. And for sure, if I can do, I try to overtake, but was not enough. You know, at the end, in the last period, we find something, especially on the balance of the bike, that we can ride in a better way. And in fact, me and Maverick, we are more strong. We are second and third in the championship. But for me, we need a small help from Japan for improve the electronic system in acceleration. The season is so long, I push with all my force, and I hope a help from Japan.
I have two questions, one for Mark. Why did you choose the softest tyre? Obviously, this is a very tough track for tyres. Why did you choose the softest rear, and how did you look after it?
How you look?
How did you look after the rear tyre? You chose the softest tyre. How was it with the throttle or what?
Yeah, I chose the softer rear option because during all weekend I was working a lot for the race distance, and on Friday I feel a little bit, but then on Saturday again. For some reason I feel softer the medium tire than the soft. You know, it's strange to say, But in some areas, that hard tire is softer, or was softer. I mean, my feeling on the bike was softer than the soft tire. So for that reason, I choose that tire, because just I was careful on the right side, but on the left side was much better.
And for Valentino and Valentino and Maverick, you both have electronics problems. We know all about that. And this track, you're on the side of the tire for a long, long time, trying to get on the throttle. So this traction control must be very important here. So how did you do so well, considering this, that you didn't have help from the traction control? Was it the way you were riding? Do you have to ride in a way to compensate for the lack of electronics to you and Maverick?
Yeah, for me, for example, compared to the Ducati, our bike, especially this year bike, is a lot better in the corner, and we can go faster than them. So they have an impressive advantage in acceleration, but in a track like this is not enough. So for me is for that. But if I have to say an area where improve our bike is clearly that for me.
Yeah, exactly the same. Finally, we found a really good balance. I think our bike is really competitive on the chassis side, but we need to improve the electronic. I think today, as in my race, I lose the opportunity on the main straight because I could not overtake. So yeah, I think we are doing steps. Also, I'm concentrating a lot on the riding style, trying to supply a little bit what we don't have with the electronics. And I think we do it well, but still there is a lot of room to improve.
One question for Mark, another for Valentino. Mark, the pace was slower than last year. What's your how could you the pace of the race was slower than last year? It seems. Faster? No, slower.
Slower.
So what's your opinion about that? And for Valentino, you mentioned Jonas Folger at the end of the race. Did you watch his race of last year? Did you study his data? Did you use what he did last year?
For me, the race pace in my case was slower because last year, I already said yesterday, with last year bike we have very strong points and very weak points. With this year bike, the strong points are a little bit less and the weak points are much better. So from the beginning, from Friday, we struggled a little bit more than the other years because if you see the other Hondas, they struggle. Danny always is very, very fast here. But looks like we are missing in some area that still we need to improve. But looks like in another circuits, like for example Le Mans, like for example Assen, that last year we were struggling a lot, this year we were much faster. So we find a compromise.
Yes, for me it was very important the race of Folger last year because first of all mentally, because I remember that I arrived here last year and I was not comfortable with the bike, but already a little bit not not strong enough. But Folger last year don't know that is a difficult track for the Yamaha, and he did a fantastic race at the level of Mark. So he stayed there in the fight. So I study everything of Folger, all the race, all the line, in which way he ride the bike, in which way he have set the bike and everything. And I think that is a good help for me, the race last year of Folger. So I have to give to him the trophy.
A question to Mark. Mark, after the race, you jumped to the main grandstand of turn one. Could you explain why you did this? And
yeah, it was like, I don't know, I just stopped in the first corner and was like everything prepared, but it was not like this. I mean, I just stopped there and I go to say hello to the fans, but then I see that I was able to be inside the grandstand and was very nice there with the fans. Then was a problem to go out of the grandstand, but it was more special because then when I was coming back to the bike, one Marshall was with the 26 cap and Bunny was like a. And then I take it and I show to the fans because the real man of this weekend is Danny, no? Because we will miss him.
I have a question for Mark and for Maverick. Mark, yesterday many riders were saying that they expected a big drop in the second part of the race. It looked like that drop was a little bit less than expected. Would you agree on that? And for Maverick, the first part of the race was difficult. Was it the same feeling that you had in the, let's say, until Barcelona?
Yeah, of course, everybody expect a big drop, but I already seen the warm-up, and yesterday we improved a lot the setup, and the drop was there, but was consistent. Was like ascent. And honestly speaking, in the end of the race, I had even something more. I didn't feel the drop this time on this race, and yeah, just I tried to manage the distance between me and Valentino, but I had something there. But yeah, it was not necessary to use.
Yeah, for sure, quite similar. Yeah, really low grip on the beginning of the race, and then improving lap by lap. Yeah, honestly, it's strange, but it's like this. But anyway, I used today the strong point of my Yamaha in the downhill to trying to overtake the Ducatis.
Vale. Sí. Vale, could be today the first time that it's most important the podium of other rider, in this case Luca Marini, than your podium?
If it's more important team than my podium, for sure. Yeah, for sure is something special, you know. First time. I try to help a lot my brother during his career, and I feel very apart, no? Also because I push a lot to him for a jump on the Moto2 early, because he's very tall, he's like me, he's also taller than me. He want to continue with the Moto3 because maybe he don't trust himself enough to be able to ride the Moto2. So it's also a good advice to him. And he suffered a lot because he dislocated the shoulder another time after Qatar. And after, so he suffered very much, but he worked well, and I'm so happy, so proud, yes.
Okay, that's it. Congratulations to all three of you. Enjoy your holidays.